Over time, I have noticed some bizarre but undeniable changes, and I wonder if anyone else has experienced the same ones as me. Starting at number one, curious start. Number one, armpit smell has intensified. I don't know whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. Let's find out. My natural scent has become stronger and more musky. You could describe. Almost like my body was producing raw, unfiltered, unfettered masculinity. Women seem to be acutely sensitive towards my new aroma. It has never happened to me at other time in my life other than through a period of conscious sexual refrainment. P.S. It started to smell a little bit like my sexual fluids. Um, I, crass language really unsettles my spirit. Anyway, what this individual is describing here does have some scientific rationality to it, which is, of course, the idea of pheromones. Now, a lot of people kind of poo-poo the pheromones immediately because they misunderstand that the VMO, which is the organ inside your nose that detects pheromones, is called a vestigial organ, which basically means that there's no reason for it to be there anymore. There's no nerves actually attached to this particular organ in your nose. So a lot of people say pheromones they don't really work with human beings. But, and this is a big but, pause, they did an experiment on pigs and they actually removed the VMO from the pigs and they discovered that they were still sensitive towards certain androgenic derivatives, pheromones, I'll list them in just a moment, to their female counterpart, or the females were sensitive to the male counterpart. And this is because it is actually the olfactory organs that can process the chemical signatures in the air as well. And so this is a really interesting and big point in the argument. I know it's you can talk about the legitimacy of the study. It was an animal study. We can talk about that for a while, and that's fine. But there is biological continuity between animals because we are animals. And anecdotally, I believe this has a lot of credence because this individual is one individual in a pool of many, many, many who have reported the same kind of symptoms. The chemical signature specifically is called androstenedione. In fact, there's loads of different androgen derivatives which can be, what would you say, described as pheromones. Androstenol. I actually highlight two big chapters in my book, Masculine Gene Expression, describing the differences in the pheromones and actually what their role is, because it's interesting. The roles differ from pheromone to pheromone, meaning one may present itself in the consciousness or the experience of a female as this individual is demonstrating more safety, more protection, more of a provider kind of energy through the chemical messenger she's experiencing and understanding through the olfactory organ. And others have unique communication, what they're conveying to the female counterpart. So there's a lot of merit in this. There's a lot of merit in this idea. And of course, the apocrine glands, which are the armpits, and also by your genitals, they are going to secrete the most of this kind of chemical. It also is in your urine, it's also in your saliva and in your sexual fluids as well. The second point is faster manifestations. Thoughts, desires, and even random ideas start materializing in real life at an insane rate. It's almost like my mind is broadcasting on a higher frequency. It's not always good things. Sometimes it can be bad things equally. Well, this is a little bit outside the remit of, let's say, science. I mean, maybe neurochemistry, neurobiology, there could be a window in how we're describing it. In my personal opinion, it is more to do with the self-conception of yourself that is improving. There's so many different angles to tackle this, but I believe the most potent one is that when you start to create a healthier and more vibrant and more energetic opinion on yourself, the whole world changes. So it's like your inner reality becomes a lot more pure, a lot more confident, a lot more high vibration, high frequency. And in that way, the external reflects the internal. Now, the intention is important in respects to what you want. So you have to have a clear idea in your mind, because you can, unbeknownst to yourself, attract bad things into your life if you are consequently thinking on, negative thought patterns. The two principles at work here are the mind and the heart. So the heart is more reflective of the emotional component and your, what would you say, your state. So you have various different states, and the easiest way to describe this is through David Hawkinson's consciousness scale, which I reference so many times in my videos. And then the mind is kind of the frequency element, in that you are beginning to, you create with this, the intention is with this, is consciously using the gray matter between your ears to be specific about a desire that you wish to bring into fruition. So you have the masculine component here, you have the feminine component here, and they magnetize each other. So it's almost like you've got a positive charge and a negative charge. So the masculine is the logical, is the intention, is the creative, and the feminine is the kind of artistic, the body, the creativity. And that is one of various different ways that you can describe the systems at play. Predicting things before they happen. This one shocked me. I would get a gut feeling about something, whether it was a song playing next, someone texting me, or even knowing the mood of a room before stepping in. Intuition is another way that you can describe this. The interesting way that I would perhaps posit this is the idea that constant sexual release is very taxing on the nervous system. One of the areas in the body that has the largest components of nerve clusters and ganglions is the solar plexus, is your gut, which is the idea of the gut feeling. So the logic that would precede this statement, or this truth, would be that if you have greater sensitivity and power and strength and overall awareness in your solar plexus, in your gut, through not taxing your nervous system, it would make sense that your intuition would subsequently follow that. And your nervous system is electric in nature, so it actually expands beyond the remit of your physical body, though we can't actually see it. A lot of people may describe this as, your aura. Aura is the correct word to describe here. But that is something that, I get synchronicities and serendipity. I wouldn't say I have precognition. Sometimes I do have dreams of things happening, before they happen, and that is quite freaky. Although it's a little bit difficult for me to measure at times. Supercharged senses, sounds become more crisp, sights become more detailed, and I could feel energy in a way that's hard to explain, as if my brain was receiving a full HD upgrade. I would just put this down to this idea of dopamine sensitivity. You're just becoming more acutely sensitive to novel and simple things in life when you remove hyperstimuli. If you get past that real flatline phase, which is an absolute killer. It's kind of like you're going through withdrawals. I've been addicted to cannabis before, when I was from maybe 2017 to 2018, midway 2018, like smoking every single day nonstop. And a lot of people say weed isn't addictive. I think any substance can be addictive. It really depends on your relationship that you have with it. I was dependent on the substance, and it took me a good month and a half, I would say, to really get past that initial phase. Same thing with adult material. Taste buds enhancing. Every plain food tastes richer. Subtle flavors I used to ignore are suddenly more noticeable. Same thing with dopamine sensitivity. Needing less sleep. You're not taxing yourself as much, so subsequently you have more energy. Faster hair and nail growth. My hair line looks fuller and my nails grow quicker. Skin seems healthier, almost like my body is an accelerated in an accelerated regeneration mode. I agree. A lot of people have been commenting on how long my hair has gotten. This is probably about years growth on the top, maybe a little bit over. But my hair has grown. And again, this is a multifactorial equation. It's going to be dependent on diet, on supplements, on genetics. But I think there's some credence to the idea that all these other bits and pieces are could be at the consequence of just not taxing yourself. No itchiness, dryness, or dandruff. My scalp feels healthier than ever. No flakes, irritation, or dryness. So some really unusual benefits there of sexual abstinence. Can't say that there's continuity with all of them with me, but I'll be interested to hear if there's anything else that you would add to this particular equation. This was just a little fun video. So I hope you gentlemen enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Speak soon.